Flight passenger captures what no one was supposed to see. Taking a trip by air should be fun, right? But seeing something scary from the plane's window while flying could be nerve-wracking. Imagine spotting a monster out of the window flying beside the plane. Would you jump out of the plane? Flying in the air simply means you've suspended thousands of feet above the earth. It can feel like you're in another world entirely because when cruising at that height and looking out of the window, everything you'll see will look so small. The worst is you don't really know what to expect. Many people find clouds to be beautiful and awe-inspiring, as they can take on a wide variety of shapes and sizes and can be rendered in a stunning array of colors depending on the time of day and lighting conditions. Additionally, clouds can evoke feelings of serenity, mystery, and wonder. But it's not always blue skies and champagne up there. Sometimes it's an absolute nightmare. Flight passengers have experienced bizarre things in the clouds midway through their flight. Wondering what they are? Let's take a trip around 10 weird videos of the scenes that flight passengers captured while on the plane. Number 10. The glowing blue dome. If you take a trip to Paris, you'll see a glowing blue dome under the golden sunset light. It's usually a beautiful sight to behold. But in December 2012, 30,000 feet above the ocean, a flight passenger was surprised to see a glowing blue object in the sky while flying from Florida to Pennsylvania. The glowing blue dome was believed to be bigger than a billboard, although it had a round shape. People quickly became alarmed when the video hit the internet and tagged it as an invasion from outer space. However, scientists waved such thoughts aside and explained that the glowing blue dome was just a giant ball in space, wrapped in 250 LED lights that can be seen on the top of the Revel Casino in Atlantic City. Number 9. Is it an alien or monster? Hey, look up. Is that another plane, a large bird, or another UFO? During a trip from Phoenix to Portland, a mysterious creature was caught on camera outside the plane. At first, it was blurry, and no one was able to quickly tell what it was. But if you watch the video closely, you'll see two long, dark objects joined together with tentacles and tails. Such an object has never been seen before, and it was really a wonder. The part that made the passengers gasp for breath was that the tail and tentacles of the object were merged together at an angle. Maybe it's a monster or an alien, but certainly not a bird or another plane. Of course, planes don't have tails or tentacles. However, the guy who shared the video online agreed with others, saying that the object was an unseen airborne creature and could not possibly be something from this world. Number 8. Passengers spot a cube-shaped UFO. The view from an aircraft can be both breathtaking and beautiful, but even the thick clouds that look like balls of ice cream cannot distract you enough. You'll know when you spot something different, and in some cases, it can make you want to jump out of the flight. In this video, a passenger captured something in the cloud that looked like another plane following them. But when they looked closely, it looked nothing like a plane. It looked like a disc flying in the air. Some say it was an unidentified object, but it was a cube flying. Most aircraft can fly as high as 33,000 feet above sea level. So what is a cube doing at such an altitude? Relax your nerves. You're only seeing a video of it. Number 7. Flying saucer. When Michael Conrad produced a low-budget movie and gave it the title Flying Saucer, no one knew it existed for real. So, as you watch this video, you may think that the flying saucer is an excerpt from the movie, but that's not true. What Kenneth Arnold saw while flying in his small plane may remain a mystery because he has spent futile years trying to explain it. Years later, a flight passenger captured something in the air that made Arnold's theory of the existence of flying saucers in the air valid. Have you ever seen a flying saucer? Number 6. E-cigarettes explosion. This isn't the usual cigarette you know about. While regular cigarettes are powered by tobacco, e-cigarettes use electricity, hence the E in the name. These cigarettes usually have a battery, a heating element, and a body that traps the liquid inside, and some people even use it as a secret pack to deliver marijuana and other drugs. There are places you step into, and you'll see a bold inscription of smoking is prohibited, and planes are not an exception to that law. But e-cigarettes are usually allowed on air, not for smoking though. As long as you allow it to stay hidden inside your bag, it's fine. Maybe allowing e-cigarettes on flights needs to be reconsidered because in February 2019, an unexpected incident involving an e-cigarette brought a flight to an abrupt end. Passengers were seen jumping on their feet and rushing to grab their bags as one bag which contained e-cigarettes suddenly burst into flames. Luckily, the plane didn't need an emergency landing because the incident happened before they even took off. Number 5. Breathing forest. We live in crazy times where UFOs and UAPs are spotted in space, but never have I seen a forest breathing. And no, this isn't one of those special effects movie producers use to make a scene look real. Do you know that in and out movement that happens on your chest? Exactly. Shockingly to the investigators, there was no magic at work or something as suspicious as dark Halloween or spooky forest spirits at play. So what is going on here? During the investigations, Mark Soroy claimed that site was an understandable meteorological phenomenon where land elements come together once in a while to create an unusual scene. That explanation doesn't change much. If I saw a forest breathing, I'd definitely freak out. Number 4. Turbulence plane. A few bumps in transit that pushes you forward so that your face is in another person's sweaty armpit can make you feel uncomfortable. How much more than the one you experience at 33,000 feet above sea level? While your body is shaking and your brain is having difficulty processing it, you're already freaking out, probably trying to confess your sins and say your last prayers. In June 2017, what was supposed to be a slow and steady flight turned out to be a terrible nightmare. There wasn't much turbulence because, according to the passengers, the plane was shaking violently, which put them in a tight fix. And to think that the pilot announced that they should be on guard and say their last prayers because the fault wasn't from him but the plane's engine. It was to imagine that in the next minute they could crash, and you'll have to say a painful goodbye to the world. But thankfully, amidst the chaos and the nerve-wracking journey, the plane still landed safely with the passengers breathing a huge sigh of relief. Number 3. Pyramid-shaped UFO soaring through the sky. I know the first pyramid you got to know was the ones that were erected in ancient Egypt during the 3rd dynasty. But looking at this video, you'd see that pyramids were actually flying in the air. Weird, right? According to the investigations carried out by government officials, the flashing triangle-shaped pyramids that were captured flying over the U.S. warship were real. What was more fascinating was the pyramid giving off a flashy green color in the air. Unlike other UFOs we've seen, this pyramid-shaped object isn't scary, but beautiful. Number 2. Snake in the plane. If you're a fan of spooky movies, you must have probably seen the movie Snake in the Plane, a 2006 American action movie that showcased snakes curling in a plane. But this is far from another fiction on screen, because flight passengers experienced this in real life. While on the plane, passengers were surprised to see a big, thick, green serpent crawling on the plane's roof. Immediately, everyone became alert as they unbuckled their seatbelts and gathered in a corner to watch. Thankfully, the snake in the plane wasn't dangerous, and the flight attendants immediately handled the situation by covering it with a blanket, then passing it over to the snake experts who also boarded the plane. Number 1. Birds on board. It's beautiful to see a bird fly high up in the sky, but it becomes annoying when it joins you on a flight as a passenger. Unlike some countries where you can get into trouble for boarding with your favorite animal, flying in Saudi Arabia has no such restrictions. This is why you'd likely see falcons take a flight trip with their owners. It may be the owner's favorite thing in the world, but when it flies to your seat, that is nothing but a nuisance, and no one wants that after spending so much to board a plane.